Hello again, everyone. You guys are doing great with polynomials. Just want to start there. But a couple of people are asking me kind of similar questions about finding the zeros. So I just want to do a short little video just to kind of catch everybody up on that vocabulary. Because really, what is a zero? Gotta love the English language that there's a million different ways to say the exact same thing. So sometimes the questions ask you, what are the zeros? Sometimes they ask you for the x-intercepts. Sometimes they ask you for the roots, and sometimes they ask you for the solutions. Those essentially all mean the exact same thing. And if we look at the graph over here to the right, this is a cubic function. We'll talk more about that in the coming weeks, but really the zeros it's showing you are exactly the x-intercepts of that graph. So for each one of these questions here where we're asked to determine the zeros, well, let's think back to quadratics because we did that. That was called our zero product property. So our zero product property essentially said, look, we're looking for the x-intercepts. All along the x-intercept, the y value happens to be 0. So if I replace my y or f of x with 0, I'm now just searching for the values of x that make our function equal to 0. Well, 0 times anything is just 0. So I can set each one of my factors equal to 0 and then just go ahead and solve for x. So I'm showing it out here in this video, but you guys are going to get into the hang of it that you're really just probably going to end up doing this in your head. And that is totally fine. So for this example here, the zeros are at x equals 3, and then x equals -5/2. If we go down to the next example, now this is a cubic. I know that because I got 3 linear x's here that are being multiplied together. If I again substitute in g of x with 0, I'm looking at 1, 2, and 3 different factors. And I'm going to set each one of those factors equal to 0 and then solve. So x equals 0 is for my first factor. X plus 1 is 0 is my second factor, and 3x minus 7 is my last factor. First one's already done for you. We just got 0. Second one, we're going to have to subtract 1. Last one, we're going to have to add 7, and then finally divide by 3. So for the second example, my zeros are at 0 and -1 and 7/3. Last example. And this goes towards, again, where we're all moving to. We're only just starting our polynomials unit. The fact that this has an exponent of 2, we're going to call that a multiplicity. We'll go through vocab on a different day. That's a totally different video. As for right now, all that really means is that we have 2 factors. We still have the x plus 2 factor and the x minus 4 factor. The fact that there's 2 of the x plus 2's, again, is a totally separate day. What that means, as of right now, we just care that we're looking at 2 factors. I'm again going to set each one of those factors equal to 0 and solve. These are easy enough, so I'm just going to put in that my answers here, my zeros are at x equals -2 and +4. So hopefully this clears up any questions that we had about finding these zeros of a polynomial. Thank you for watching.